Thank you. So let's start. I'll continue with some more examples. Last lecture, I taken three examples. One was finding roots of a quadratic equation, and we looked at even evaluating complex roots. Then we looked at a program of binomial coefficient, and lastly, we looked at printing Pascal's triangle. I hope some of you tried at your home to work out, look at the program, how do they work. And those given you a reasonable idea, at least the Pascal triangle and even binomial coefficient, how the loops can be used and how do they make it efficient. For binomial coefficient, we have done two methods. One is computing factorial n, factorial r, and factorial n minus r, and then doing computation. Another one we have done by using little more optimizations. So today we'll take some more examples of using loops and some if condition. And again, as I said, it is important to first understand logically how your program should work before you should go down to writing the code. So I'll give a simple example, and today I'll basically ask you to do some practice to look at it, give a thought, how do you go about it. So let's say I would like to draw a simple box boundary, or more like you can say square in ASCII way. So given the input n, draw a boundary box. For example, for n is equal to 10, the box would be like I have 10 stars, then I have 10 rows, first row full star, second row first and last column, and last is the 10 star again. So if I want to print, how would you like to go about printing such a star? So n would be your input. You can do either command line argument like using argc, argv, or you can do scanf. Either way is fine. But given that input n, how will you print such a box? Give a thought for 2 minutes and tell me how would you like to go about it. So today class is going to be all interactive. If the question is not clear, you can ask me. If it is clear, I'll give you 3-4 minutes, give a thought, and let me know. You can do loud thinking as well, which is fine. Is question clear, Meghna? Juha. When asking your name, you should at least give me answer yes, no. Venkatesh, nobody is speaking.
We could use loops again, but
Yeah,
here.
but how do you use loops? Yeah,
Okay,
loops
so
is
we
to
can
move.
take one outer loop for each row of asterisks stars, and we could use another loop for putting an asterisk and spaces in every row.
Okay, good. So can you think of writing a program and tell me how the program will look like? Yes, you have a right thing. Put one loop, outer loop, and then put rows and this thing. How to go about it?
Sir, please give me a moment, sir.
Sure, take your time. What about others? Trakshri, guys, when I take your name, you have to respond. Otherwise, I'll consider you absent. You were not responding. Tanushree, Aditi,
So
yeah.
I have a brief idea. I'm not sure about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so first we could try putting a loop I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, executing it 10 times basically. And so we'll inside the loop, we can put an if condition saying if
Mm-hmm.
I is equal to 0 or I is equal to n minus 1, print,
Mm-hmm.
put another loop with all
Mm-hmm.
stars, everything stars, like from 0 till n minus 1, everything stars.
Sure. So can you share your screen or look at
No, sir, I
how
have
the
written it in my notebook. I'm yet to put it in a compiler.
you can just put an editor or share or phone. I want to look at the logic. It doesn't work. You want to run the program. I want to look at the logic.
Okay, sir, just a moment. Let me write it. Let me type
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah. Anybody else, please? Vanika.
Sir, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Tell me how to approach the problem. Is the problem clear?
Yes, sir, the problem is clear, but I'm thinking the logic.
Okay. Anybody else? I see only Arjun is speaking. Anybody else? Sahana. Sahana, are you there? Looks like she is not there.
As an internet issue.
Okay. What about others? Everybody can't have internet issue. Ananya, Pramod. Aslam Bhasa.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me how would you approach the problem? I need to do a lot more coverage. Trakshri.
Sir, our mic is not working.
Whose mic?
Trakshari's mic, sir.
I see problem. Too many people keep reporting that. Ananya, Pramod says so. At least you can type on the chat box. The mic is not working. Neha KB.
Yes, sir, doing.
No, tell me how would you do? Doing is one part. How would you do it? What is the simplest thought that comes to your mind?
Sir, I'm thinking we could do it like in a row column way.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how to do it. I'm still thinking.
Okay, so let me give a thought. See what is involved here. If you look at the top row and the bottom row are same. If n is equal to 10, I can simply print 10 stars. And how do I print 10 stars? So I can do print n stars. How do I print n stars or n asterisk? What the code would look like? Anybody else?
For loop
Yeah,
for
for loop.
I
Yeah,
is
so
equals to
yes,
0,
so yeah.
I
So
less than or equal to 10.
so we should use n because n is the value. So you'll saying we'll write for I is equal to 0, I less than n. It cannot less than equal to, less than equal to it make n plus 1 loops. I plus plus, and then we would say printf this will print me the first line. And then I need to go to next line. I should say printf new line. Are we okay? Sorry. Can you see what I written? I'm saying first I is equal to 0, I less than n. And initially, if you people get confused, we can start I is equal to 1, I less than equal to n. This will print n stars in the first row and put a new line character. So this condition will give me this top row. Now, how many middle rows I need to print? Juha?
Sir, should we use multiple loops?
No, so I'm giving a simple problem, okay? What I said is first I printed top row. If you look at all the middle rows are same, so how many middle rows I need to print?
N
Total.
plus 1, n minus 1.
No, total how many rows are there?
2.
Total rows are n. I am printing total rows are n. This is row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, total n rows. So once I print my top row, remaining these rows with first star, last star, space in between, how many this identical rows are there?
N minus 2.
N minus 2. So first simple logic would be print the top row by putting a for loop. Then I have another loop which will run n minus 2 times and print a line there, and then print the bottom row. So I already have the code for printing the top row, single for loop, printing the bottom row, single for loop. Now I can print this row n minus 2 times. So I'll have a loop for n minus 2. But to print this row, how my loop would look like? I need to print n characters. If we look at the loop, let's consider any row. Consider any row. First, I will print the first star. Then I would put n minus 2 spaces. Then I print a star again. So that means in my second loop, which I'm running n minus 2 times, I would be printing a star. Then I would be printing n minus 2 spaces. Then I'm printing a star, and then the new line character. Is the approach clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's look at the code. Can you see my screen? Are you able to see my program?
Yes, sir.
So look what I'm doing first. I'm printing the top row, which prints a star. Then I'm printing a new line character. So this line number 7 to 10 prints the top row. Then I need to print middle n minus 2 rows. So I print middle n minus 2 rows, and then I print a bottom row from 18 to 21, which is same as 7 to 10. Now, how do I print my middle n minus 2 rows? So I'm putting n minus 2 rows. And what is n minus 2 rows? First, I print a star. Then I print n minus 2 spaces. And then print a star again. And I have to print a new line as well at the end. So last star and new line. So this will print me n minus 2 middle rows. And then I'll put the last row. So if I were to run the program, let's say 9, you basically get this. If I were to say 11, Is this program clear? I'll upload the program, give it to you, but is the program clear? Any doubts about this program? Now this is too much code. Can we optimize it? If you now look at, you look at whole thing is a n by n matrix. So we look at whole thing as a n by n matrix. What is happening in n by n matrix? If we look at first row, last row has all stars. First column, last column has all stars, and all other elements are spaces. So first row, last row, first column, last column has stars, everything else is a space. Now this is n by n matrix. To run n by n matrix, I would need two loops. What is the loop would be? Let me write it here. I can say for I is equal to 1, I is less than equal to n, I plus plus. Second loop, different variable j is equal to 1, j is less than equal to n, j plus plus. If this is the case, now how do I identify the row 1, the top row, and the bottom row? For the top row,
Given if condition in
yeah.
the second loop, saying that the first column and the last column and the first.
So now given these variables I and j, how do I determine the row is 1? What the condition would be? Yes, I need if condition, but what will identify the row 1? This is my row 1. What value of which variable identify the row 1? Any thoughts? This is the whole matrix. What value of I identifies row 1? So outer loop indicates each row. That means I is equal to 1 indicates my first row. I is equal to n indicates my last row. So if I were to put a condition, I is equal to 1, this captures my first row. Is that okay?
Yes, sir, but I think there is more to it, just not
Yes.
the first row.
No, so this only prints my first row. What would be my condition for the last row?
I equal to n.
Yes, so or I can say here, or I equal to n. So I've taken care of first row, I've taken care of last row.
Same
How
thing with
do
the
I,
columns.
how do
J
I take care of
to
columns
1.
now?
J equal to 1 or j equal to n.
Yes, I can say j equal to 1 or j equal to n. If this is true, what should I do?
Print the star.
Print the star. If this is not true, what should I print?
Print a space.
Space. And after the inner loop, Since I need to go to next line, I need to print a new line character. Is that fine? So let me show you another code. Are you able to see the code? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So you can see this indicates my row. This indicates my column. And then I'm saying if I is 1, I is n, that means top row or bottom row, or j is equal to 1 is left column or the right column, print a star or print a space. And after this inner loop, I need to print a new line character because I need to go to next line. So this is a much simpler, elegant program. When you run it, you still get same box matrix. Let's run that program. You can see I'll be running more box 1b dot c, same program. Let's say box 11, you get the box with 11 star. If I put 20, you'll get with 20. Any questions about printing the box? Are we clear there?
Yes, sir.
Now you know how to use loops with nested loops. Any doubts about this? I'll go to the next example.
Sir, why can't we use the square method?
Why can't we use which method?
Square, right turn for 90-degree and all.
No, I'm doing a plain text star here. No, then you are talking about the graphics. I'm not doing the line and graphic method here. Just using a plain star as a box. ASCII. It's not the graphics involved.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Having understood this, let's look at the next program. I want to draw a cross pattern. Something like this. How would you approach this problem? You understood the looping, how to do, identify, consider this as a matrix, and then tell me how to print such a box, X as a star. Give a thought for 2 minutes and tell me how to print such a star. Not a star, cross. Any thoughts? Sama? Nitya? Nilanjana?
Yes, sir. Give me a minute.
Anusri, Apeksha, Arvind. God, you don't speak, you have to speak up. That is acknowledged. Bhuvna Goda, I mean, consider this as a matrix. Consider this as an n cross n matrix. How do you identify which row and which column would have a star and which row and column would have a space? Chirag, Chetan,
Sir, is
Yes,
it
sir.
just like the last one, but instead of the if condition only changes if it's I
yeah,
is equal to
only if
j?
condition would change, yes. So precisely, how would you identify with a condition that this is a star and others are space? What is the
If
condition?
I is equal to j, then it's a star, or else it's a
No,
space.
if I is equal to j, that gives you only the diagonal. If I is equal to j, you only get forward diagonal. What about this backward diagonal? If I is 1, j is 1, you get this. I is 2, j is 2, you get this. So I is equal to j, you get the forward diagonal. How to get the backward diagonal? Any thoughts, guys? How do you identify the backward diagonal? Sorry. Yeah, how do you identify this backward diagonal? I is equal to j identifies the forward diagonal. So this is I equal to j. How would you identify the backward diagonal? Any thoughts? I mean, look, For this star, for this one, I is 1, j is n. For second star, I is 2, j is n minus 1. For the third star, I is 3, j is n minus 2. So what is the property now? Can you tell me? For fourth
J
star,
n minus I minus 1.
what is the property condition? Repeat.
I mean, the J value. J would be n minus bracket I minus 1.
Right. So essentially you are saying if j is equal to n minus I minus 1, correct? Or I can say n minus I plus 1.
Yes, sir.
Precisely. That's all. If this is the case, print a star, otherwise print space. And that's all we need to do. It is much simpler than our printing a box. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
So look, I'm saying if I is equal to j, this forward diagonal. If I is equal to n minus j plus 1, or j is equal to n minus I plus 1, either we write print star, otherwise print a space. I print a new line character there, and that gives me the cross. Let's say 9, and if you say 15, and if you say, let's say 12, you'll see 2. So this is how print star. Any questions about this? So you understood you have to use 2 loops, but what you want to do inside the loop, that's where the logic will come in. So look at the logic and then make a decision. Any doubts about this part? Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
Let's look at the next problem. Consider I want to draw a triangle like this. How would you do that?
Using increment operator.
How will you increment operator? Which fine. Tell me how. What the logic would be. Your input is n. If I were to run, let's say 10, I should get a triangle like this.
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 loops again, I think. Slope is I is equal to int I is equal to 0. I is equal to 0. I is less than or equal to less than n, and I plus plus.
So it's 0 to, let's say, n or n minus 1.
N minus 1. Minus 1. And
Okay.
then inside the I loop, you're going to put another for loop.
J is j loop.
Yeah, j is equal to 0. J is less than or equal to I, j plus plus.
No, what is the condition? J is less than I. Okay, fine.
J plus plus.
That will happen. J plus plus. There's the loop. So basically saying first loop runs
the row
n times.
Yeah.
And second loop runs I times. I times.
Iteration. Yes.
So first loop n times, second loop I times, and print a star. Otherwise, that's it.
Okay, yeah, after closing off the J loop, you're going to print a new line.
That you have to do, otherwise, yeah, that precise. So let's look at the code. That's exactly what I had done. I'm using 1 to n. You can use 0 to n minus 1, doesn't matter. It is easier to map 1 to this, hence I'm using 1, otherwise 0 is fine. Print a star. Are we okay here? That's all is the code is, very simplistic code. The second loop runs only I times. We don't put beyond. Any questions about this part? Sahana?
No, sir.
Okay. No questions. Let's go back. So I've done this. I'll leave it as a homework to you to practice. So let's say I need to print a different triangle like this. Now that logic would not work what it did last time. It may be a little tricky. Because you need to print these many spaces here. So second loop has to run again n times and not I times. So that's one part you have to be a little careful. So this first homework, second homework, print the star in a reverse way, what I was called is top right upper angle. And
Sir, can
again,
you just show the previous one?
previous one, okay. This one? Want to see the
No,
code or the example?
No, the opposite direction. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Okay, sir, thank you.
So the slides are available in MS Teams. You can go and look at it. So homework, first homework, try right lower triangle. Second homework, draw the right upper triangle. Third homework is draw the left upper triangle. And three homeworks, try writing the programs. I haven't uploaded the programs. I will leave it to you to work out. Write yourself, see things up, and then probably I can upload this program next week. I'll wait till the next week.
So the right upper triangle.
Right upper triangle, 1 minute. So let me repeat the homework. This is what I've shown you. So this is right upper triangle is homework 1, if you want to call it. Second homework is right upper triangle. And third homework is left upper triangle. These are the practice homework. We need to try and do that. They are not the assignments. I'll be giving assignment next week. And my assignments are to be done in a team, in a group of 2 or 3 people. So I'll ask you to talk to among yourself, make your own team. And I'll ask your class rep, Sana, to give me the team names with the details. So I'll get in touch with the class rep and get the team details. So make your team and you'll be getting assignment like this. So 3 homeworks, upper right triangle, lower right triangle, left upper triangle. Any questions? Any questions, let me know. We discuss different triangle patterns, and that should basically tell you how to use the loopings. Any questions, let me know.
Yes, sir.
I'm done for today. I'll upload